And joining me in studio right now is our Houston Astros front office insider, the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Booth. You can see him on Channel 11, and now you can see him here in studio with me. I'm going to read you a quote, Jeremy. Be nice. Okay. All I'm going to say is be nice.
Is McCullers pitching tonight?
You beat me too talking about Lance McCullers. Here's what Dana Brown had to say about Lance McCullers earlier today. Quote, all blisters are not all created equal. This one is so that he's going to have to make a start in the minor leagues and see how he feels.
Oh.
Have seen some blisters that can last 4 months.
Yep.
End quote.
Me too. Those are common. You know? Just by blisters, we mean ligament sprains, right? Is that what we mean? Like we have a blister on the ligament right here in this area?
With the Astros medical and training staff, you never know.
That's a good point. How about a blister on your shoulder cap, your burster cap right here? Is that one there?
Is that what Josh Hader's dealing with?
Maybe. Or a blister on my tricep. That's a good one, tricep. Blister on my lat. How about he can't throw? You know, I saw Dana the other night in the hallway, you know, and the jokes were kind of made, you know, oh yeah, you know, I try to keep a low profile. I love it because, like, you know, we all try to keep our relationships. I said, not me, dog. I'll put you on blast. You know, he started laughing, and that's, you know, Dana. I know you're doing what you got to do, man. I
He's saying what he has to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's. But you got to remember this medical staff doesn't have any credibility anymore. So
right.
The minute you say he's got to make a start for a 7-month blister in the minor leagues, people are like, come on, man.
Yeah.
This guy's got an injury history longer than the West Wing at Cedar Sinai in L.A. I mean, he's got these. This is ridiculous when it comes to how many surgeries he's had. So I get it, but Lance, see you in 27 in the bullpen.
I think it's safe to say
26.
that in 25 you will not see Lance McCullers in the bullpen.
Well, the last time that Lance McCullers pitched in a regular season game, it took us, 36 months to get him back? Is that about right? See you in 27, dog. Sorry. See you in 27. When's the last year of the contract?
I think the contract is up.
In 27, right?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. This is depressing. Also,
why? It's exactly as predicted. How is it predicted? I'm having a great day.
I'm depressed by it. I'm not.
I just got here and I'm right again. It took 3 minutes.
He's got a blister that's keeping him out for a while.
A blister where? I had a kid last week that played with a broken jaw in 4 places. He's out there running balls down. McCullers got a little. Oh, does your fingertip hurt?
I have a blister on my neck.
It's not that.
Might be a hickey. I don't know.
No, it's definitely that. I saw what you've been putting down. I haven't said a word to you, but I saw what you've been putting down.
She watches on the Twitch.
Yeah,
so
well,
I think she'll take that as a compliment.
I don't know. I don't know. He's got a hell of a shirt on. Maybe slide that one down under the collar line. Just saying. You know?
So Josh Hader, 15-day injured list.
Yeah. Initial
report. Shoulder discomfort, of course. The Astros always funny with that. Then we hear it is
a blister,
strained shoulder. We, I guess, today are just going to be waiting to see if there will be a Josh Hader update today. Jeremy, he's the Astros' best pitcher this year.
I got questions. First thing I want to know is, did they do any imaging? Did it need imaging? Or is it too swollen to have imaging? And maybe we don't really need imaging. We need ibuprofen and rest. Second of all, I want to know how long he's going to be out with this shoulder discomfort. And does he have to go back to the complex to do rehab? Is he going to be in AA or AAA? Is there enough season left to make enough rehab appearances? You know, are we ramping back up? Is it going to be a setback? Should we plan for a setback somewhere in there? And you know, the medical reports, you know, are we digging deep enough right now to make sure? Because you never know, you know, somebody may have a setback that on their 40 pitch or 60 pitch or 20 pitch bullpen is not going to work. I don't have any faith at all when somebody goes down, they're coming back this year.
Especially given he's never been on the injured list.
Well, it's probably
not in 9 years.
Guys come here. Man.
Yeah.
Well, you're setting me up today. Guys come here and they do really well analytically, right? They just do pitchers and then they get hurt. Almost across the board. Even Verlander. I know he's 61 years old, you know, but even Verlander had a window of time where he got hurt. If you go back to all of the guys when they've arrived here, Javier finally broke right? Garcia finally broke. Urquidy, I don't know what happened to him. He snapped, literally.
Garrett Cole got out before it happened to him.
But he broke. But
Yeah,
he
that's
did
true.
it here. Okay. Verlander broke while he was here, right? He got hurt twice.
That is interesting the way you
They
lay
all
it
get
out.
hurt.
Guys start off great and then things happen. So, what do you think's happening? Is it the way that the Astros are telling their pitchers to throw, or is this just not correctly taking care of recovery?
So
Between pitching.
But the list gets longer. It's Blanco, it's Arrighetti, it's really anybody they're relying on that has these type of innings that has significant injury history. And it started really when Strom left. Now, I'm not blaming the people that are here because haven't done a deep enough dive to find out the problem. What I know is the medical staff isn't honest, or they're not thorough, or they're incompetent. It's one of the three. Okay. What I also know is that the arms, the position players traditionally, other than Paredes, which is an injury that happens once in a blue moon, traditionally stay on the field. The pitching doesn't. And it seems to be more aggressive in bunches here than it is other places. Seems to be. Granted, this is the market we spend the most time in and pay the most attention to. But with that said, something is going on systemically with their starting pitching that is breaking these guys. It is not their relievers. Their relievers usually hold up, whether they're good, bad, or otherwise. It's their starters. Now, in the minors years ago, you used to be able to say it was because they piggybacked guys. For those at home that don't know what piggyback means, it means you'd have Paul Gallant and Jeremy Booth start a game. Paul go 5 innings, Jeremy Booth go 4. That's
impressive.
It was just scripted. Well, yeah,
I'd walk
tough.
everyone.
Well, I got a blister. I'm out for 4 months. But it would be tough. That's how they did it, 5 and 4. And then you do that every time through, and you do it again. And they did that to develop to hot pitch limits and to put constraints on the shoulder and to whatever reasoning they had. It was about conserving bullets. Okay. And over time, as somebody who scouted their system, it seemed to be they wanted guys to throw as hard as they could for 5 innings or 4 innings and then shut it down because of the intent and how much they were gassed out. Now, for those of you at home, again, I'm just going to stop this down, not to condescend, more to explain. Please understand I'm explaining. When you guys do a sprint, you're winded, right? When you do a very slow jog, you may get winded, but it takes longer. A start is a slow jog. It's really what it is. It's a slow jog. Somewhere along the line, we turn those starts into sprints. And so if you have those sprints and you leverage all of that, you're going to get winded faster. And so doing that for 9 innings or 20 innings or 80 innings or 100, every body has a limit on it. Every human body has a limit based on their skills, their tools, their mental set. There's a lot of things that go into that. Back to the Astros and how they develop pitching. If for a while you could trace it back to that because guys were just blowing out. They weren't holding up. Now I think they'd have to look at what the new philosophy is. I have not scouted the organization internally in years to give you an intelligent answer, but there's definitely something that's disconnecting with how they're being used.
Astros front office insider Jeremy Booth with me in studio. It's the Paul Gallant Show, ESPN 97.5, 92.5. So you're talking about starting pitchers there. To bring it back to Josh Hader. In the past, Josh Hader has said that, hey, this is before he got the big contract, that he didn't want to go 2 innings. We saw Josh Hader go multiple innings against New York over the weekend, and I'm seeing a lot of people pointing to that as perhaps a reason that he is dealing with what at least currently has been described as a strained shoulder. Yordan Alvarez had a strained muscle in his hand that was a broken hand. Bringing it back to Hader here again. Do you think there's perhaps a link between New York and where Josh Hader is right now?
I think it's a reasonable connection. I don't think there's necessarily a link. I think that when starting pitching goes down, and again, we just named 4 guys this year that haven't been around, right? Natural stress is added to the bullpen. It just is. And the Astros have not been playing well recently in their, it's their bad stretch. Right? Doesn't matter. We said this multiple times. It's that every team's got a bad stretch. And we talked about this last time we were here. We talked about this last time we were virtually, wherever the hell we were. Yeah. And we said they have a bad stretch coming. It's just going to happen. Where it is, I don't know. We kind of hope it was during the 4A guys were there, but that wasn't it. It's now when it's back, and it's usually in August. I say that to say this. If guys are feeling the pressure of stress, and they'll never tell you they are, and they shouldn't, but they're feeling the pressure of having to keep a lead. Today, are they tied with Seattle?
They are.
And so they have to keep a lead that was at 1.89 games.
7.
Yeah.
But it's a lead that they've had and a pretty commanding
Wire to
one
wire,
for a while.
right? And now
the Mariners, they've won 8 in a row, and they've won 10 of 11.
So it was a 7-game lead that they held almost from the beginning, and now it's a 0-game lead. Do I have that about right?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you have that type of stretch and guys are coming back, in theory, they're getting better. Sanchez is here. Correa is here. Urias is here. They're all stuff that we praised, myself included, Dana for doing at the deadline. They're the right moves. Did a great job. A+ for the Astros and Dana Brown at the deadline. But they still got to go play.
Yeah.
And so you look at what you have, and I'm not killing Joe Espada, but this is a bigger test than last year. Joe had a test last year with Alex Bregman hitting the 2 spot. By the way, how's he done since he's been back in Houston?
He had 2 home runs already, and there's another game to be played.
Yeah, there's one tonight at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, but you have Alex Bregman in the 2 spot, who is clearly productive in Boston in that spot, just like he was productive here in that spot.
Always back to the line.
We got to do it. Chose not to do it. And then, okay, it was said to me by somebody, 50 years managing versus with Dusty Baker versus, 50 days. I get it. Totally get it. But now you're year 2. You have a club that is not as talented, at least when you started, right? They're better now than they were when we started the year, but they're not as talented when they started. You've had a just plethora. I feel like I'm in that movie with Three Amigos. What's a plethora? Do you know what a plethora is, El Guapo?
A lot.
A plethora. It's a plethora of injuries, right? Mm-hmm. And you kept them in first place. Like, that's a great job. Well, guess what, dude? Boys are back in town now. The horses are here. What are you going to do about it? Are we going to have McCormick pitching in the whatever inning? Are we going to keep doing that with Chaz? Are we going to have a right rotation? We're going to go ahead. So I look at this as more of this is now on Joe Espada to get these guys back going because Dana did his job. Joe did his job. Dana went and got him the horses to go ahead and do it. And now it's back to Joe. Back to you, Paul.
The upcoming stretch for the Astros after this series, much needed. So August 18th through the 20th, they do have a road series in Detroit. But they also, over the remainder of the month, have 7 games against the Orioles, who are doo-doo this season for whatever reason, 3 against the Rockies, and 4 against the Angels. So with where things currently are, the Mariners have certainly been feasting on a pretty easy schedule of late. They have played Tampa Bay, who is in the, oh crap, all of our games are on the road phase of their schedule. They have played the White Sox. And now they also are playing Baltimore for the next couple of games. So you can see how Seattle's fattening up in the short term. Jeff Passan wrote last night that if you take a look at what Seattle has from a pitching perspective, which we were already aware of, and now a lineup that's hitting home runs, that's stealing a lot of bases. When he was asked about this team, these Seattle Mariners, he wrote, and I quote, "If Houston loses tonight, Mariners will be tied for first in the AL West. Lineup is great, rotation nasty, back of their bullpen dominant. They are a scary October team." The rest of the way, we got 40 games or so. Do you see Seattle overtaking the Astros for the division?
Let me say it this way. It really, and I'm not saying this because they're tied, right? About a month and a half ago, I wrote something, that was published that talked about what each team needed to do. The Astros did that, okay? If the Astros play their game, it's going to be a fun 40 games, right? Mm-hmm. But the Astros are a better team if they play their game. Now, that means Hunter Brown's got to be on, and Javier's got to be on, and Urgetty's got to be. You got to play your game. Alvarez has to be there. Correa's got to be, which, by the way, as a side note on Carlos Correa, while he's not the same guy at all, he's a better skill player now than he was before. It has actually been fun to watch him move the ball around the field. It's been fun to watch him execute. Playing third base is going to make him better. That's a heck of a move here, okay? When you add those guys back in and they play their game, they're a better team than the Mariners. If anything misses, the Mariners are young. They're a little bit nuts. They don't care about anything. Seattle is way hungrier. Houston, listen to me.
Don't say we have a problem. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'll leave. I'll leave the studio.
This is my home. I bring a lot of things here. I love being here. Got more stuff on tap for the fall and the spring and all kinds of things that are cool for baseball and sports in the city and everybody here. I got Space City tatted on the back of this tricycle.
It does.
Okay?
It's beautiful.
I love it here. Seattle has never had this opportunity, and they are hungry, and these kids don't care. They don't care. They're going to do whatever they have to do to get themselves in. If they don't make it, if they do make it, it's on. And so the Astros need to, as now the veterans, at one point they were those guys, the veteran winners, the ones that the entire league looks at and says, we got to beat those dudes. That's what they are. It's them and the Dodgers. It's them more than the Yankees right now. Believe that. It's them more than the Red Sox right now. Believe that. Okay? All right, is anybody else around baseball paying attention? No disrespect intended at all what the Texas Rangers are doing. And I love the Rangers, and I love the fact that I'm going to be there as far as how the organization treats me. But they're watching you. They're watching the Astros. Look at this guy's shirt over here. It doesn't say Mara Rangers.
Mara Rose.
Yeah. So,
Mara Rose.
So I tell you, they got to play their game, because if they don't, it's going to be a long winter. If they play their game, they're the best team in the league. I mean that right now. And they got a chance to win the World Series. And personally, not just for you guys, as a fan base, and us as report, I love going to just the postseason stuff. I love watching the team there because they're built
nice
for it.
I like Mariners fans.
Yeah, me too. But they're built for it. The Astros built for this. They really are built for it. They're built to go win in October. It's it's one of the more fun seasons I've had a chance to watch because it's all clicking. So it'd be really good if they got to play each other in the playoffs, because I'd be on that shuttle so fast. I would be back and forth to Seattle. I'd be booed in Seattle by my few people I know still there.
That's funny. Well, there's a possibility that because they just released the schedule for the American League playoffs, there's a chance, say the Astros and Mariners met in the ALCS, that they would be playing each other the same weekend that the Texans are playing the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. And that would be very interesting because
it would start the 7th,
late October, right? Yeah. So it's like the 20th or something like that. Yeah.
So the 28th is the 28th is the end of the season. 30th is the first playoff game for the wild card, and then the next game's the 7th. The next
correct.
And
the I'm just saying the ALCS is like October 20th or so. And
I got
Texans
you.
Would be in Seattle for that game as
Whoa.
well. Yeah. I know that'll be fun. I'm hoping that happens because I'm probably going to be up there for Seattle for at least that game. Jeremy Booth, we always appreciate you joining us, and hopefully we'll have better things to talk about with the Astros next time around. What you got going on with FutureStarSeries.com?
I mean, what don't we got going on right now?
I just saw your Facebook post. Oh, my goodness. Lots going on.
Yeah, I put some of that on X, too. I mean, listen, it's for me personally, it ramps up quite a bit. Now it's not only back in here more consistently because I'm off the road, but I got to go to Dominican next week.
Hey.
Got an event in Roxbury, Massachusetts on Sunday. It's a
Roxbury?
foundation.
Yeah, wicked pissing dude.
Right. It's a foundation event. I got
lock your car.
The apps without question. Yeah, I got the the big signature events coming. We have our fall schedule out. We have next year already planned. Back in Houston again next summer, doing that. And of course, the big signature event, which is probably the best roster we've ever had, is up at that ballpark in Arlington. People like to talk about. So probably trying to bring something back to Daikin. I'm gonna say that now. If you guys want to see some of the best players in the game in your own backyard in Daikin Park in the summer, to let me know. Continue to do it. But man, it's a lot of fun. Dominican next week's got 170 kids in it now and rolling.
Damn.
And there's a lot of money out there, man. There's a lot of good players. So excited.
Jeremy, always a pleasure to have you in here. He is our
man.
Houston Astros front office insider. Check out all that stuff, FutureStarSeries.com.